Hello, Astro Darlings, and welcome to the Golden Astrologer Podcast. This is Deb McBride, and I am recording this on Sunday, January 26th in the year 2025 from lovely, windy Escazú, Costa Rica. And we have a good big week this week. We've got lots of energy flowing, lots of energy happening. So let's dive in. The big aspect, there's actually a couple, but let's start with one, is that it's a new moon on Wednesday, the 29th. And we are diving into this new moon at 9 degrees of Aquarius, 51 minutes. Now, this is the Lunar New Year. This is going to start 7:36 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday the 29th, and it is the year of the wood snake. Every year, the Lunar New Year occurs at the first new moon after the sun has entered Aquarius. So it's never like, oh, the new year starts in Aquarius. It's always starting in Aquarius. The Lunar New Year is always in Aquarius. It just depends on when the new moon is. It could be early in Aquarius like it is now, or later in Aquarius like in February. But this is fairly early in the sign of Aquarius, and that is 9 degrees 51 minutes of Aquarius. So this is the beginning of a new Chinese New Year. I don't know a whole lot of Chinese astrology, but I do know it relative to Western astrology and when the new year starts, and that I do know my own sign. I'm a rabbit, which was a few years ago. And so this is a very powerful day with this new moon as they start the Lunar New Year. And there's always celebrations, and we always get together and celebrate here. We do something last year, I think it was a Saturday, so we got to go out to nice Chinese restaurant and all. I don't know what we'll do this week, but probably just do something quick. But it is a really good time actually to start something new. Not just because it's a different new year than our calendar new year, but because it is a new moon. And new moons are always really good times to initiate something new in your life, maybe not so dramatic because we have them every month, but maybe I always recommend doing a space cleanse. It's great to cast out the old energies from the last month and bring in new intentions for the new month. And a lot of the new moons are occurring at 9 degrees every month. I know that Capricorn was 9 degrees, and I think Sag was 9, and I think Scorpio was 9, but they are occurring at the end of the initial month of the sign. For example, like Scorpio, I think it was on Halloween. And so that's where it's been, the earlier part of the sign at 9 degrees. And so this is the first decanate of Aquarius, meaning the first 10 degrees of Aquarius. So if you're born in these next few days, like if you've got a birthday around the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, these are going to be more powerful energies for you because the new moon is occurring at your birthday. So you can look forward to some new, fresh things in the year ahead. And so this is something to pay attention to. Like I said, I like to do a little ritual, a space cleanse, an initiation of new energy. We are still in Mars retrograde until February 23rd, as you will recall. And so we're not really getting into like a big start of something new. Like, oh, I'm gonna launch my website on the new moon this month. No, this is more like setting intentions and connecting with what you want to bring into your life in this next month and what you'd like to clear out. Because when we have something new, the old goes out. So this is a great time to initiate some new ideas and set new intentions for this new month. And of course, when you are setting your intentions, it's great to do something like light your sage, light your Palo Santo, and go through your house and do a big cleanse. Open your windows. And as you are releasing the old energies from the last month, which has been a little rocky because of that Mars retrograde, I would suggest you intend for the old energies that are no longer necessary and relevant for your life to please exit and escort them out the window, out the door as you are doing your space cleanse. So these are always good things to do. You can also put bowls of salt and light candles. You can make it as elaborate as you'd like. I've done that where I might have done a big space cleanse where I put flowers out and let them float in bowls of water. But it's always really good to just take some good sage or, myrrh. Myrrh is really good. Frankincense is good. They are good to cleanse. Copal, Palo Santo, these are all good herbs to cleanse your space. Go through each room, go behind doors, open cabinets if you want to, but make sure you just stir up the energy and let the old energy fly out the door or the window. So this is an important thing that we're having. 7:36 a.m. new moon in Aquarius starts the lunar year of the snake on the 29th, Wednesday. Also on Wednesday, starting at 2:52 a.m., Mercury will be conjuncting Pluto, and that is because tomorrow, the 27th, Mercury will enter Aquarius at 9:53 p.m. So tomorrow night, Eastern Time, Mercury enters the sign of Aquarius, the first time since last year, and Mercury will then almost immediately, a day and a half later, conjunct Pluto. And so this is really something that is powerfully mental, powerfully intellectual, something very innovative may cross your mind. It's a great time for analytical thinking. It's a great time for innovative thinking, coming up with some new ideas. It's a good creative time to think about, if you're going to set intentions for a new moon, this is a great time to really use the power of your mind. And that's the Mercury-Pluto conjunction. That power of the mind is evident during Mercury-Pluto. Mercury being the mind, Pluto being the empowerment. And keep your thoughts elevated. Keep the higher frequency of thoughts. Don't allow dark thoughts to come your way. And that's very possible with a Mercury-Pluto conjunction. You could get into the muck and the mire of the past. Stay out of the past. Use this to do a very deep meditation. It's great for something deep because that's what Pluto asks for us to go deep, for us to transform your thoughts. So see this as a time to transform your thoughts into something higher. Now, thoughts carry energy and frequency. And when we start to transform and transmute our thoughts to higher thoughts of love and gratitude and abundance and all those good, beautiful things, then we are escorting the darker, the old cobweb thoughts out of our mind and out of our energy field. So we want to keep out the old stuff that holds us back. It's a great time to clear old beliefs. It is a great time to clear anything that is a mental obstacle in your way of how you proceed with your life. You may come up, wow, I've found a limiting belief. Well, this is a great time to clear it. And that's one of the things I do in my expansion mentoring is I help you work with your limiting beliefs and clear them. We have a whole belief sequence that we do to help clear those things. So it's also a great time to get your chart read, which is good because it's the start of the Lunar New Year. It's a new month. It's Aquarius, which is the sign of astrology. It's a good time to absorb deep information when Mercury and Pluto are joining together in an Aquarius. And this is great now that Pluto's in Aquarius. This early new moon will cross Pluto on Tuesday. The moon is going to enter Aquarius on Tuesday at 2:31 p.m. Eastern Time, and then it's going to cross Pluto at 5:56 p.m. Eastern Time, not much longer later, a little over an hour. And so as the moon is getting to be new, and it's going to that newness with the sun, we're going to feel the moon as it conjuncts Pluto on Tuesday the 28th, that evening. And so this is important because the moon will greet Pluto first and then join the sun the next day, as we always have a new moon when the sun and the moon conjunct in a sign. So the moon will be jazzed from Pluto's energy and will come to the sun jazzed from Pluto. This is transformative. It's intense. Don't be surprised if there are some intense moments, intense emotions, intense feelings as we go through the stages of Tuesday through Wednesday. Very powerful. And then Mercury will join Pluto. So just as the moon is passing over this, Mercury will be lurking nearby. So this is a lot of energy. This is a lot of energy as the moon conjuncts Mercury and then conjuncts Pluto shortly after that. And then the next day comes to the sun. This is a pretty big new moon, all in Aquarius. If you feel a lot of spinning in your brain, that's Aquarian energy. Ground yourself, do a meditation, go for a walk in nature, do some exercise, get your body moving, but keep grounded. Keep your feet on the ground. If you're living in a warm place, maybe if you feel a little out of control, your mind is spinning, go step someplace warm on the earth. If you can step barefoot on the earth, that would be really helpful. Breath work, deep breathing, meditation, anything, a warm bath, something that will just sort of calm you and relax you and not allow this electrical Aquarius energy to keep you from sleeping or to keep you distracted, okay, or keep you hyper. This is how it's going to be on Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's one of the things we need to pay attention to. The other thing is, as if that's not enough, Uranus, the planet that rules Aquarius, is going to change direction on Thursday. So we've got, a lot of Aquarian energy happening this week, a lot of electrical energy. And just as we were having all of this Mercury to Pluto, to the moon, to the moon to Pluto, all of these conjunctions happening between Tuesday and Wednesday and this new moon, Uranus, the planet that rules Aquarius, is going to station direct from retrograde, where it's been retrograde since September 1st. So, first of all about this, Uranus doesn't go and turn direct. It's not like a little switch is flipped. We turn the light on, we turn the light off. It's slowing down as I speak on Sunday to stop in the sky. So the planets that are sitting in Aquarius are sort of marinating in this Uranian stopping energy. Okay. So this is very electrical energy. Okay. Get grounded. Make sure you have your feet on the ground and your head straight and you're focused, because this could just be woohoo, swept away chaos. And it can be a chaotic energy. So we do need to be very aware of how we're using our energy this week. Don't fly off the handle, because Uranus is erratic energy. It can be erratic energy. No road rage. Whenever we talk about Uranus or Mars and Pluto or Mars and Uranus, I want people to stay calm and not go out and get in the fray of traffic in a bad mood. So this isn't really a bad mood energy. It's just excitable. And so we can keep ourselves on path and on point. We want to make sure that we're not getting frazzled and chaotic because of all of this energy flying around. Okay, so this is where you want to be practical, grounded, focused, using your conscious awareness to keep you aligned and to keep you, functioning without getting distracted and erratic, okay? Because this can be really erratic energy. The other nice thing that's happening on Thursday, after the sun has that nice new moon, it's going to trine Jupiter in Gemini. So the sun and Jupiter are really doing a very nice little dance on Thursday, but that means that the new moon is going to trine Jupiter. So this is great. It's 9 degrees and Jupiter's like 11, and they are moving in a very flowing relationship to one another. So again, Jupiter is in Gemini, which is another air sign, which can be very dynamic and a little distracted. Again, keep your focus. If you feel yourself getting distracted and unfocused, it's time to step back, take some breaths, and then get back to what you were doing. This is a great week, though. It's a great week of advancement with that new moon trining Jupiter. It's connections and communications and dynamics, intellectual dynamics, and brilliant ideas. So if you can take some time, if you're trying to come up with creative projects or have ideas that you want to sit down and flesh out on paper and journals, do that. Sit down, take some time. The middle of the week is really good for that, and to just explore and contemplate what you would like to be working on and what projects you think have some promise in your life. So this is really good. It's high energy. This is a high energy week. So I would recommend using the energy consciously to your advantage. Don't fritter it away. Don't just get all excited and say talk on the phone too much. Just use it to progress your life. This is a progressive week. Uranus is now going direct after having been retrograde, like I said, since September 1st. What has been going on in your life since September 1st? What has been happening since then? Now, what's interesting was at that moment, Pluto stepped back into Capricorn for the last time, and it went direct in October and then went into Aquarius finally on November 19th. So we started that Uranian retrograde during this time of Pluto taking a step back. Maybe you felt like you weren't making progress. Like I've had people tell me that during that, Pluto back in Capricorn time, that they felt like, I'm dealing with old stuff I thought I'd finished. And so there was a lot of stepping backwards in September up until October. There was a lot of feeling that you aren't making progress, that you aren't getting where you want to go, that you feel limited and held back. And if that's the case, and you felt like that last year, the second half of last year, now we're getting momentum. Now we are moving forward because Uranus is moving forward. And now we've got, Jupiter trining this new moon, and we've got really good positive energy this week. Also, Jupiter is getting ready to station direct. Jupiter will station direct on the 4th of February, which is the subject of next week's podcast. But because we're getting close to that's the final planet that's in retrograde, with the exception of Mars, which is an inner planet. Sort of Jupiter is further out, and so is Uranus. So they are considered more outer planets. At that point, a lot of the more progressive energy will be available to us because these are more unconscious realms. These are generational planets. They are opening the door to go forward. And we're going to feel like things are really starting to step in the forward direction. We have needed this energy to move for a long time. It has felt stuck since late last year. While we're not entirely fully integrated yet because Mars is still retrograde, this is a time period where we can start to feel like we've been integrating all the new energy available to us. And it's very important. It's very important that we start to look towards newness in our life. What are we wanting to do that's next? What's the next chapter about? And that's really a theme of this week. Aquarius is a forward-thinking sign. And when we start to work through Aquarian energy during Aquarius season and have the new moon and other dynamic aspects in the sign of Aquarius, we really start to have forward thinking actions and thoughts that are bringing us to the next place we need to go. We set the tone for the year and we start to look forward to what we're hoping to accomplish and achieve and bring into our lives that is innovative, that's new, that's exciting. And so this is a very important week because Uranus also, when it goes direct, it's going to be straight forward headed into Gemini. So it's in Taurus, and it's going to go direct in Taurus, where it's been for years, and then it's going to enter Gemini later this year. Okay, we're not there yet. Let's get direct first. But full speed ahead to Gemini. This is now going to be yet another new paradigm. And this is one of the main subjects I talked about when I did my 2025 masterclass, The Liminal Labyrinth, which you can still purchase on my website for $55. And it's a very important year because we are having 3 outer planets change signs: Saturn, Neptune, Uranus. Okay? They're all going to dip into the next sign and then dip back. But as Uranus goes direct, it's full speed ahead towards the next chapter, toward the next sign, another air sign. And what we're doing is we are starting to get connected to and project into that next Uranian energy, that next place Uranus is going, which is Gemini. We start to feel it once Uranus goes direct. It's like, okay, we know where we're going. We've got a few months ahead of us, but we are starting a new path that's going to open up for us this year. This is a big year. Lots of changes, lots of forward-thinking movement, and changes of elements. You know, when Uranus gets out of Taurus, it's going to go into another air sign. That's Pluto is in an air sign. Uranus will be in an air sign. And Saturn and Neptune are leaving the watery realms of Pisces, and they'll be going into Aries. I talk a lot about this in that masterclass. If you'd like to purchase it, you can go to my website, thegoldenastrologer.com, and click on Book Online, and it will show you all the masterclasses that are available and all the options available to book with me. So this is a wild ride. This is a wild ride we've been in Earth energy for a long time. Okay, all those years of Pluto and Capricorn while Uranus was in Taurus. That was really dense, very grounding, very practical, but now we're getting loftier. Our thoughts, our ideas, much loftier than we have been in years. Okay, so this is very powerful. And right now, the moon's in Capricorn as I'm talking, but there's not much in Earth other than Uranus and Taurus. Now Mercury is now moving out of Capricorn tomorrow into Aquarius, as I said. Everything else is in water. Mars is in water. Saturn is in water. Venus is in water. Neptune is in water. And Venus and Neptune, Venus is sitting now in between Saturn and Neptune. And remember last week we were talking about that Venus-Saturn, which we are going to have a big dose of in April. But at the end of this week, on Saturday, the 1st of February, Venus will make the first conjunction to Neptune. So this is also very important in water sign. Venus loves to be in the sign of Pisces. It's where Venus is exalted. And connecting with Neptune is romantic, creative, deeply intuitive. It's spiritual. It can be optimistic, but it also can be tricky. There's always a light and there's always a dark. The dark is Venus-Neptune. You can get fooled into a relationship that you probably, when things weren't so romantic and rosy, you would not necessarily entertain the thought of that relationship. But this is one of the cautions of Venus-Neptune. It is sometimes diluted. But if you're using it properly, maybe you're in a long-term relationship anyway, and maybe you'll just have some nice romantic date night, and then you'll have some creative moments, some deeply artistic moments, maybe fun moments with your kids or your family, maybe a beautiful vacation moment, okay? Venus and Neptune can be incredible beauty, but this is the first passage. Venus is going to connect with Neptune again, and as I was talking about last week, Venus and Neptune will meet up again during the Venus retrograde. And then the third passage of Venus to Neptune will be in Aries. So this is a powerful experience because Venus in Pisces, this is the last retrograde that Venus will have with Neptune in Pisces. So meaning next year, Venus will not go retrograde and conjunct Neptune in Pisces several times. This is the only time it's going to do this now, the last time in our lifetime, because once Neptune goes into Aries, it'll step back into Pisces, but there's not going to be a back and forth. There'll probably be a Venus-Neptune conjunction next year in Pisces, but it's not a retrograde. It's not back and forth. I'm coming once and I'm coming back again, and we're going to relive a powerful story during this time. It'll just be breezing by. Okay, so this is a very interesting experience because Neptune will be entering Aries for the first time, and Venus is going to join it there. So this is going to be one very powerful story. It's very powerful when inner planets conjunct outer planets. It's a very intense passage. And when a planet goes back and forth like this, there's a lesson, there's a story. We need to pay attention. By the way, how did you all experience last week's Sun-Pluto conjunction on Tuesday the 21st, last Tuesday? I have to say, I felt it more on Monday, and I definitely felt those moments of disempowerment and then empowerment. And I had to deal with, and it's funny, I had to deal with what sounds like it should be a small matter. So I have this herbal sleep syrup that I use that I got from an herbalist. And he has now become, in the last year, he's become incapacitated. I think he's not well. I think he might have had a stroke. And his wife is now in charge of getting this stuff to the patients. And it's the one thing that surefire gets me to sleep. And it's an amazing, I don't know all the ingredients of it, but he studied all the plants and the herbal medicines of the Amazon in Brazil. He went there for 7 years and studied this. So he's an expert, which is a shame that he's incapacitated. This is a great loss. And so I was trying to get this medicine for over a week from this woman. And, obviously I understand she is trying to do the best she can, but she doesn't answer. And there was one moment on Monday when I just felt completely at a loss. And I wanted to just scream. I think I did scream. I was so aggravated because I was trying to, usually they used to have a messenger that bring the medicine, but they can't now because they just don't have enough business, and I guess it's not worth holding on to a messenger. And now I have to find a messenger and send it. And I was trying to, get directions from her and stuff because I don't drive, and so I can't drive there. It's far. It's actually far. It's not something I can hop in an Uber and go there. It won't work very well. And so I had to really step it up, find a messenger that I could rely on to do this on a regular basis every few months or so. And the woman doesn't answer me. So I felt completely disempowered. And finally, I left her a voice text and explained to her why it's the way it is. And my friend can't drive me there anymore because her car was stolen. And it's like a long story that she didn't need to hear. But I had to step it up and empower myself as best as I could and reach out to friends and get some information and get a messenger and get this woman to listen to me. And that's what was really the problem. She wasn't paying attention and she wasn't getting back to me. Sorry, we don't have a messenger. I know you don't have a messenger. You told me this months ago. I'm trying to work out a messenger. I need your address. I don't have it. You gave it to my friend who drove me there. I need your address. So this was, I was banging my head against the wall practically with this. And so once I left her a voice text, and I left it in English because she speaks English, she got back to me immediately. And I was like, okay, was that so hard? Why should that have been so hard? And so, yes, it was a very frustrating experience. And once the Sun-Pluto actually happened, I had solved it and got my medicine and all that. It sounds like, well, that shouldn't be a big deal, but it is. I was trying to send an Uber person there, like an Uber Flash. And I understand too, it's a gated community. It's a gated condo property. It's really beautiful. They probably just don't want any old Uber or any old person coming. So the only way I could, I had to tell my whole story to this woman. But it was like one frustrating thing after another getting in the way of, and I wasn't sleeping. There was no sleep. I mean, there was some sleep. I was sleeping and waking up too early, and my old insomnia patterns came up. But that was really like a push. It was a real push. And, sometimes we have to just rely on our own power and empowerment and find the resilience within us, that's what Pluto likes, and stretch ourselves to the next level to empower ourselves to get what we need, right? So whatever, instead of sitting here unempowered, it doesn't feel good to be unempowered, right? It's that feeling of, I don't know what to do. I'm like at a loss, and you've got to figure it out somehow, some way, but you've got to get the other person to respond. Yeah. I was leaving her message after message. I Reiki'd the bottle of medicine. I did visualizations. I sent it to myself through my New Vision holographic system. But once I got past the point where she actually listened to me, then it all made sense again. And now I just had to push on through that and empower myself. That's what it felt like. It felt like a bit of an uphill climb. And this is the nature of Pluto, and this is the nature of Sun Pluto. You've got to dig in deep and get yourself to the next level. All these outer planets ask us to stretch ourselves, not just Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion. It asks us to expand, but in a different way. It's usually a good expansion. Pluto is sometimes a dig in deep expansion. You know, I've got to dig into my resilience, to my core, and pull out what I've got. And sometimes you just have to throw money at it. And money and power are Pluto things. So that's what it was. I fully expect, with Mercury and the Moon conjuncting Pluto this week, that there may be some similar energies. It might not be the dynamics of the sun like that, but it might be some similar, I've got to pull a rabbit out of a hat energy that forces us forward and gives us a big thrust forward. And that could easily happen this week. So if you had something like this happen with the Sun-Pluto conjunction, you want to pay attention to what this, this Moon-Mercury thing is going to be when it pushes through and it all trines Jupiter. This is a lot of energy. This is a big energy week. So expect that you may have to make a big push this week with Moon and Mercury to Pluto. And then also with Uranus turning direct, it's going to stir the pot of 4 planets in Aquarius. That'll be the Moon and the Sun, Mercury, and Pluto. And so that's a powerful time to have a new moon, and the ruler of the new moon sign is going to shift direction. This is a wild energy week. It's a big energy week. So, like I said, stay focused, stay grounded. If you need support, you know where to find me. You can come for a session with me at thegoldenastrologer.com, click book online, and you can set up a session. You can also set up a session for Reiki that might be nice and calming for you. A beautiful Reiki session could really be shift energies, help you clear up the old energies, escort the old energies out. Like I said, you could do with a space cleanse. You could do it with Reiki too, as well. And then there's also, my Instagram, The Golden Astrologer, where I'll be talking a lot probably this week because there's a lot going on. I thank you for listening. Have a beautiful, energetic week. Enjoy that Venus-Neptune, which is a kiss at the end of the week. After all this energy, it's like a relaxing sauna, a relaxing steam, like I did on Friday on my birthday. It was a relaxing, beautiful day on Friday because it was my birthday and I went to the spa and everything. But do this for yourself on Saturday. Maybe you can luxuriate in a massage or go do some nice spa or go for a swim if you live near somewhere where you can swim, or an indoor pool or something. Or if it's warm and sunny where you are, go to the beach. But that's great energy for just sort of relaxing and being soothing on Saturday. So while we may have a high energy week, keep yourself grounded and do something beautiful for yourself next Saturday. Thank you. Gratitude to one and all. Love to everyone. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week, and I'll see you on the internet during the week.